Good evening, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 5:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, June 4th, 2021. We're going to do a small itsy bitsy special here on Elon Musk and what I think is going on with him in terms of where I think he's planning, what he's planning for himself and for his technology, and where it fits in with this whole cryptocurrency ecosystem. So twitter.com, link below, subscribe button below. Know that this is not financial advice. It's only educational. All right, let's go straight into it. Let's talk about the Elon Pie Hole. Okay, this pie hole has been going on now for about a month. And you know, we've been hearing tweets about like they're not going to accept Bitcoin anymore. We are hearing about Tesla selling Bitcoin, but never actually happened, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But then the Bitcoin breakup tweet last night, and honestly, it didn't really have that much of an impact, right? This is not a logarithmic scale. So if you did see a logarithmic scale, this was a very small correction based on his tweet compared to some of the other things going on. I also think that this is not purely Elon driven. I think a lot of it has to do with the natural consolidation that needs to occur for a healthy underlying asset such as Bitcoin. We have to see this thing consolidate over time. The pullback is healthy. Make no mistake about it. Nobody likes to see red unrealized negative unrealized P&L or even realized P&L if you're scared crapless and you wind up selling at a loss. And I hope no one's really done that. But I think long term, there's plenty of things to be excited about, even with Elon Musk in the picture, if you could believe it. I'm not a fan about his approach, just so, you know, full disclosure here. I think it's terrible how he's doing it because a lot of people in the retail space that are invested in this are getting hurt. But that's a casualty of war in big business for him. So, you know, we just have to take everything he says with a grain of salt, in my opinion. Now, when did Elon realize he needs to do something else? And that's something else we're going to go into. But I have a very good idea right now after seeing the behavior of what he's been tweeting out and what he's actually doing. Is something we all need to start, you know, keeping our eyes open to, because, you know, since the beginning of the year, we wound up hitting a high in Tesla. Everything was great. He loved the world. Suddenly, the Tesla stock starts to drop and deteriorate almost to half the price, from 900 all the way down into the 500s. So Elon's saying to himself, well, investors are starting to compare Tesla to, you know, the other kind of American car companies like GM and Ford. And, you know, research analysts are saying, well, we can't justify the price earnings ratio here because, you know, it'll take 30 years for them to achieve what, you know, to achieve a normal PE ratio, with, you know, consistent with these other car companies. So it is very hard to justify its valuation. In fact, it's always been hard to evaluate to value its valuation because it's too expensive as a stock, even in the 500 levels. I'm not saying that Tesla will be wiped off the map here. I'm just saying that I think Elon is now dealing with the gripes and groans of purpose. He doesn't have much of a purpose anymore. Tesla has had its day. Yeah, now it's going to kind of steadily roll out. They're going to have cars, whatever. It's kind of boring at this point. You know, you have enough Teslas on the road. So Elon needs what? He needs a new plan. He needs to define a new purpose for himself. He needs to become the master of something else. And what better place than the crypto world? Why? Because the crypto world is two things. It's an economy, an actual economy sitting on this giant blockchain technology. But it's also something just as big, which is the internet. The internet, the new internet is going to come out of this new blockchain technology. It will be a revolution very similar to when the internet came out. We just don't know it yet because we're not living in those days yet. But it's slowly being built out. There's a lot of foundational stuff being built right now that will knock your socks off when it comes down the pike. Across gaming, across all sorts of new technology. Companies are starting to use it. I see it with my own eyes. So Elon needs a new plan. And so he wants to be the master of energy efficiency. He's already the master of energy efficiency. So he needs to attack something big enough, and that is the crypto world. So going into the master plan. Well, here's Elon Musk, Mr. Elon Superman guy. He finally realizes Bitcoin seems to be the place. So instead of backing it, he turns to bashing it because it is using apparently some fossil fuels out in China. Honestly, I don't think that's such a big what to do, but he's using that as an excuse to go after it. And he's scaring the crap out of retail folks like yourselves and myself and other people when he opens his flap. So as he continues to open his flap, just realize the longer he opens his flap, the actual stock price, the Bitcoin price is not really as impacted. Look, last night was pretty crazy, a little nerve-wracking. But, honestly, I think people are starting to become numb to him. And I think these volatility, aftermaths from his tweets will become less and less and less. We all know his game. And as long as you know his game, then you'll be smart to it. So the short-term negative impact on the Tesla balance sheet. So when he opens up his flap, he actually owns a crap load of Tesla on his balance sheet. Well, basically, when he opens his flap, Tesla as a valued company actually goes down. He actually negatively impacts Tesla by opening his mouth. But it's not by much, because in his mind, he's not thinking about the short-term impact on Tesla. He's always thinking about the next thing. What's my return on investment? Once I'm able to basically corral up enough backing for me to come up with a strategic energy efficiency plan around the whole crypto space. I don't think this is just about Bitcoin. I think it's beyond it. So I think he needs to go after the top dog of the crypto space. So he'll just go after Bitcoin and kind of say, hey, these people are burning fossil fuels and blah, 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 and whatnot. I think he's doing that for a bigger purpose. I think he's trying to implement some of the technology that he's been able to put together in his Teslas and in other endeavors that he's got out there, and use it towards the blockchain so that he and his companies or all of his companies stand to benefit from an energy efficiency strategy that will use his technology, and he will collect the bean off of that. So that's what I think is going on. And let me just remind everybody, even with all this stuff going on, we are still getting very large projections on where Bitcoin is going. JP Morgan, who's the most negative on Bitcoin, who has been the most negative on Bitcoin since as far back as 2009 when Bitcoin started, they have a price prediction of 130,000. Tom Lee has a price prediction of 120,000. Wave Financial's got 400,000, which I think that's out of control. And Kathy Wood has a 500,000 projection. Well, let me tell you all right now, I personally think we're going to land between 8. I'm more of a Tom Lee, JP Morgan side. I'm more on this side of the end of year view of where I think Bitcoin will ultimately go. So that's the overall view, and I want everyone to understand that. So let's just go back to this here, and this is the market. This is the Bitcoin market. We're back to 37,143. This morning, we were all the way down here. It was pretty scary, but I drew this channel to make sure that if we broke out, I knew that it was a fake-o. And we broke out of this channel, and now we're on our way back up. This could be an inverted head and shoulders heading back up. I'm very confident that we will stay above this. I think the Elon effect is over. As long as he can just keep his mouth shut for the weekend so that we can enjoy the ride back up, I think we're in good shape. That's all I really wanted to talk about. And I just want everyone to have a great weekend. And I'll tweet out anything as I see it throughout the night. Take care. Bye.